Freak Nation, last segment of our predictions for 2025 in motorsports, NHRA, IndyCar, NASCAR, Formula One. We're well into Supercross, and now with Jet Lawrence out, I figured, let's just pump the brakes on two-wheel for now. To find out what our predictions were for the other series, all of those 4 series, be sure you can rewatch the show on YouTube. You can watch the replays on MAV. Follow us on Instagram. Richard C. will be bringing up our picks for 2025. Crasher, with us celebrating our 25 years in June, we've seen so much, done so much, and we continue to do many different things. I mean, this set is bananas that we've developed over the last 2 weeks, and it's only going to get better as we're on the ride for 25 years, Freak Nation. Before we get into what we think is going to happen at Daytona, Crasher, there was something that Denny Hamlin said last week regarding the exemption when it comes to, was it Daytona 500 or?
I believe it's every race, isn't it? And that, yes, you have a world-class driver exemption. Right. I forget the exact words of it.
Anyway, yes.
You get it.
Every race.
Yes.
And he's got an issue with it. Richie, throw out the Denny Hamlin. Let's talk about that a bit before we get into our Daytona 500 predictions.
It reaps of desperation. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how nice you can really say it. It just feels like you're really trying to get any kind of headline you can to be relevant. And I don't love it. To me, it's a short-term gain, long-term loss. I just think that you're the premier stock car series in the U.S., the premier racing sport in the U.S., be the big boys, and force people to come in here and get their credentials and do it the natural way. I don't think it's going to be a big factor really anywhere other than Daytona.
Actually, I disagree with Denny in the sense of I don't think there's any long-term loss to this. I think it's great to bring worldwide eyeballs into a race, especially the Daytona 500. Hook them at the beginning of the season, keep them for the season. If this one driver does well, the one driver, the worldwide exemption, again, I don't know the exact term. It's escaping my mind right now, but yeah, it does good. It brings extra eyeballs. It's one position. It allows the field to go to 41 drivers instead of 40. I see no loss in this. I see nothing but a gain because you're only going to go outside the normal NASCAR audience, maybe more than usual for this position to get more eyeballs on your sport. If you hook them, boom, it's a benefit. That's a benefit long-term, not a loss long-term.
Richie's over there like a little kid that needs to pee with his foot. He wants to talk. He wants to. Then
let him talk.
No, hold on.
I sense some disagreement in the Freak Nation.
Too.
I can't get fired up on this either way, so I'm going to let you 2 or 3 battle this out. It doesn't matter that much to me because when people start talking about gimmick, listen, sports is about gimmicks. Or whatever you want to call it, extended opportunities to move forward, to win, to take. It's all part of it. But if they're going to do this, then why don't they make you have to qualify to get in every freaking race?
I would agree with that.
Why not? That again, the qualifying for Indy 500, we already know who's going to be in there, Crasher.
Well, if there's only 33 cars, right. But yeah,
Bump day is like freaking hump day, bro.
It's like one driver getting bumped out. You are right.
Right.
Bring it. Okay, I absolutely agree with you there. Allow these world-class drivers to compete, but don't give them a guarantee. Because especially in the biggest race of your series, you need to be able to qualify to be in there. So I am with you there. Don't guarantee their entrance.
Richie, do I want to tee it up for Cole and you two can freaking battle?
Yeah, Cole. Okay, so Cole and I vehemently disagree about this.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you've kind of explained my thoughts on it. And so, Cole, please, you have the floor. Go ahead. Explain to the Freak Nation why you're wrong. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I have an opinion both ways. I do agree with Crash. I think bringing eyes
go both ways.
No. I agree with it. Bringing eyes to the sport. However, I do agree with Denny in the sense that I don't see a world where someone that has never driven a NASCAR stock car in the Cup Series automatically gets to race in the Great American Race or whatever track they're going to be at over somebody like a Jimmy Johnson, who's a 7-time champion, one of 3 in that regard in NASCAR's history, or even Martin Truex Jr. driving for Tricon, who's also a former champion in his own right. So I think that Denny's 1,000% correct in saying that these guys, well, yes, it's awesome. It's going to bring eyes for them to drive in the race. I think you should have to prove yourself and compete against the best of the best in qualifying and make your way into the race.
Richie?
Yeah, I'm gonna completely disagree with you. Here's the thing: now sports in general are a TV show anymore. That's what they are. Okay, they're not actual exhibitions of sport, basically, right? They are a television show, and it's a opportunity to get eyeballs on your sport, and that's what this is. This is an opportunity for NASCAR to get more eyeballs on people watching. Are there going to be more IndyCar fans who maybe aren't generally NASCAR fans tuning in to the Daytona 500 this year because of Hélio Castroneves? I think there 100% will be. Travis Pastrana did the same thing. Travis Pastrana is one of the biggest names in motorsports over the last 25 years. Even if you're not a fan of any particular motorsport, you know who Travis Pastrana is because of the X Games. And he drew extra eyeballs to the Daytona 500 when he was able to get in. So this is marketing for me. It's marketing 101. If you can get the biggest names in sports in your event, do it 10 times out of 10. I don't care if they earn their way in or not. That's how NASCAR grows as a sport. IndyCar should do this. Formula One should do this and add an extra team to get more people in and invest in your sport. Like, oh, dude, Max Verstappen. You're telling me if Max Verstappen wants to drive a NASCAR, that he shouldn't automatically be in, and you'd immediately draw in an entire international fan base to tune in and watch him. Same thing with Fernando Alonso, and he raced in the Indy 500, right? You're bringing in those extra eyeballs. It's genius.
Fernando Alonso didn't qualify on his second attempt for the Indy 500. So yes, again, you still should be able to qualify. Get the car in on your own merit. Bring the eyeballs for the weekend because yes, look, you are a big name, and rightly so. You should have a chance to get in, but qualify. You still need to earn your spot in my opinion.
Cole?
Can I jump in one more time?
Yes.
Actually? All right, awesome. So I think with the label, and whatever it is, world-class racer, elite racer, and then being guaranteed a spot, I think that you're going to see a competitive drive from most all these guys. I mean, look at SVG. He made that one start and won the damn race.
It was amazing.
Kimi Räikkönen, his first start, I know he didn't have the finish he probably deserved, but he had a really good run too. So I think Hélio Castroneves is another good example. I think he's going to be competitive, obviously, in trackhouse equipment, driving at Daytona. But with that label, I feel like, yes, it's going to bring more eyes to the sport. These guys should be competitive, but if it gets to a point where this rule is being implemented and these drivers making one-offs aren't being competitive or getting the results that fully warrant the rule, then it should go away. But I'm curious to see how it plays out. It's not going to be a factor outside Daytona.
Yeah.
Maybe the 600 in the future, but I do agree with you guys in the sense that it's going to bring more eyes.
Should Mike Wallace have been allowed to compete Daytona 500?
Okay, so what constitutes a world-class driver?
I'm not saying anything about world class. I'm talking about a dude that has seen his share of time behind the stock car. First, all right, listen, we got about a minute and a half before we get into our Daytona 500.
You need to treat the Daytona 500 like we as fans are treating the Indy 500. Qualified to get in. I don't care who you are. Roger Penske has been X'd from the Indy 500. Fernando Alonso was X'd from the Indy 500 because their car wasn't good enough. So guess what? Same thing applies for the Daytona 500. Get your big world-classness in and the eyeballs on the weekend, but earn your way in.
I don't think he would have made it on speed, honestly.
Cole, Daytona.
Elio?
Cole.
No, not Elio. Mike Wallace.
We got a minute. Cole,
sorry.
Daytona 500 winner.
Ryan Blaney, YRB. He's got 4 straight top 2 finishes. Finished runner-up in the Clash from last to second. He's a 4-time drafting track winner.
Cole's been a Penske snorkeler the entire show.
I guess so.
Jesus.
Richie, quickly, Daytona 500 winner.
You know what? I am going to take, you know what?
What do you have, the magic figure 8 ball over there you're looking at?
I don't know. Give me Kyle Busch, man.
That's who I was going to take. That's who
Why
I
the
was
hell
going to
not?
take.
Crasher, hurry.
Okay, Kyle Busch. Yes, because Richard Childress Racing knows Daytona, knows Talladega. Kyle Busch was what, second the last 2 years? Give me KFB.
The last time Bubba Wallace finished outside the top 20 was when he was driving for Richard Petty Motorsports. Give me Bubba Wallace to win your 2025
that'd be
Daytona
awesome. That'd be cool.
500
Wow.
in February for Black History Month.
Nice.
We'll do it again next week, Freak Nation. Happy Daytona 500 coming up. See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.